The attorney did not ask the judge to recuse himself, which he should have. Okay, in addition to that, there were other mistakes made that I was not privy to. Who handled the case?
The guy who used to handle the lien.
Some private guy, wasn't even our attorney, so we wouldn't have lost in the first time we used our competent counsel. That case is totally irrelevant to what will happen in the future.
And that's the point. That case is irrelevant to what's happening in the future.
Right. Right.
Okay, except that when people that are on the board add to that problem, it doesn't make it any easier.
That's true.
Does anybody out there like to be on the finding committee? You don't have to be chairman. We would like to know if you would like to serve on the finding committee. Let me tell you what it is, because before I was on the board, I was the chairman of one of the finding committees. And what it is when we have one of these cases, it's required by law that they are judged by their own, by their peers, a jury of their peers, if you will, which of course is you guys, okay? And they come in here, you have it here, you have it in a small office, and they state their case, and then the finding committee reports to the board their recommendations, and the board makes the decision. That's what the only thing the finding committee does is really investigative. Alice, speak loud, I won't make it come up.
There were 4 of us that were on that committee.
Okay.
We gave you guys a report, and it died right there, so what happened?
It won't die with me, Alice.
All
You have my
right.
personal word on that. I don't break my word.
Okay.
It will not die with me.
But no,
I don't know why it died before, but it will not die again.
Okay.
We're going to resurrect it.
Yay.
Okay?
Good.
I'm still looking for someone. I can't do anything without a finding committee. You might as well all get dogs. Come on, I need people on a finding committee.
No. All right.
Gracie, are you volunteering for the finding committee? Or are you drying your nails?
No, I
Which?
have no nail. But wait a minute, can I come up there again?
Please.
Harvey, you got
Watch
to
the
change
wire.
the docks. The fines are too low in the docks.
Actually, the amount of the fine is, I believe the state doesn't allow you to fine them allows you to fine them to a maximum of 1,000. I assure you that in every one of these cases, it's going to go to 1,000, so the increment doesn't matter.
Our old docks had specific amounts. They would have to be upgraded.
I believe the state, Monique, I believe the state doesn't allow you to fine more than 1,000. Is that the state, or is that our docks? Do you know?
The maximum is 1,000. However,
She said the state.
only allows $25 a day, but our attorney did prepare an amendment for us to adopt the state's limit.
All right, but the maximum is still 1,000 regardless of the increment. Am I right?
1,000 per instance, yes.
1,000 maximum for incident. If you want to change the increment, I honestly don't think it'll make any difference at all. But if you do, fine.
Okay. Do you remember the night that we went to see Eric, the television?
Yes.
Okay, do you
The
remember?
workshop.
The workshop. Do you remember what he said? Sometimes it's better if you just go through the lawyer gives you the letter, the lawyer sends out the letter, okay, am I correct? This is what he said. And then he said, and they go into mediation right away. So in other words, they send the letter, they go into mediation, because a lot of times in condos, they really don't like to be on a finding committee, because they have, people will go after them.
Monique, does there have to be,
Right.
is there any law that requires the finding committee to review it, or can we go directly to the attorney? Do you know?
You go direct to the attorney, but the point of the finding committee that I was trying to raise is to get revenue for the association, because it gives an opportunity to get up to $1,000 per incident. We have at least 20 dog people in our community. That's $20,000 right there that we can use as revenue for the association.
Okay, so I think what we're going to do from now on is we're going to go right to the attorney and get action, and we are going to pursue all fees and costs. By the way, that will not be cheap. Whoever pays those fees and costs are not going to be
Make
happy.
them pay for it.
Right.
I beg your pardon?
Whoever's being
Well, that's up to the
charged.
judge. We're going to make every effort to get our fees and court costs charged by the person that's in violation of the docks. If it isn't, if we don't get it from the judge, and I believe it's up to the judge, it isn't always a given. And if the judge awards it, which they should, but if they don't, then we can put a lien on their apartment for the fees, which I would have
I second
I wouldn't hesitate. I wouldn't hesitate to do that at all. I am not sympathetic to people who break the rules, not at all.
No, me neither.
Okay, the rest of us obey obey the rules for the most part, and I expect everybody to do that. That's why we have docks, and that's why the condominium has this kind of a setup. And that's why we have Mr. Cuff to keep us on the straight and narrow. Could you hear that?
Just
Okay.
remember the words you said, breaking the rules.
Yeah,
Because it's a
remember,
two-way
that's,
street.
It is most certainly a two-way street. Have you got something on me, Walter, you want to bring it to the attention of the association?
No, I have nothing on you.
Okay.
I have nothing on you. But there's always a future.
Walter, don't wait by the phone. Okay.
It was a rule to begin with, why would you break it?
yeah, right.
Then be sorry, then threaten.
I can answer that. People originally didn't have kids here, and they didn't think about a pet. When we allowed kids here, that's what created the pet problem. Adults can do, I mean, plenty of adults love pets, I'm not saying no.
It's adults
But I think the
too.
majority of these situations is because of the children. And I hate to be an ogre, okay, and I don't consider myself an ogre. When you move in some place, if you move into a condominium, there are rules. Or you shouldn't be living in a condominium. If you want your own rules, then buy your own house. This is a community of people that live together under the same umbrella and under the same rules. And when some people disobey those rules, we have to take action. All right, is there anything else on pets from the board? Kenny, anything else? Anything else? Any from any of you guys? Anything else? Okay, anything else from the association? Okay. Next on, board protocol, I believe that's Lori. Okay. Incidentally, we are going to discuss Building 2's reduction on old business.
All right, I asked for this to be put on the agenda because the board should understand, everybody on the board should understand how the board itself operates. And what I did was I had an old organizational chart from another group that I was with, and I just typed this up just for Harvey and sent it to him so that he could see where I was coming from. And basically how it works, if I show this to you, it's going to look very confusing, but if you look at it on paper, it's not so confusing looking. But it's a hierarchy. I mean, as the president, Harvey presides over the board. Then there is the executive board, which is your officers. Everyone on the board should have charge over some of our committees. Those committees would report to a particular board member. Let's say that Sheila decided that she wanted to just kind of oversee the beautification committee. So the person on the beautification committee, before the meeting, would come to Sheila and say, yeah, I do have a report to make tonight. I'll be at the meeting. I won't be at the meeting. Could you please present this for me? She would make sure that Harvey knew that she had that to present and make sure that it gets put on the agenda, and then it would be presented at the meeting. It's just a way of organizing the board so that it isn't so helter-skelter. So I wrote it down. We don't have all our committees formed yet, but that's basically what I wanted to talk about. I just think that that's the way the board should operate. I think we should everything needs to come to the table. Nothing should just be done, because that's how we get ourselves in trouble. So we want to make sure that everything gets brought to the table and that everybody on the board knows what's going on. What I have on here, for instance, is under the main people that are up on the board, I have Jerry. He's the construction person. He is going to continue in that capacity. Under Jerry, there's a box on this organizational chart for each building, because whatever goes on in each building, Jerry needs to know what's happening, and he would also in turn let those directors in that building know what's happening, so that people just aren't lost, you know. So anyway, that's basically what I put this on the agenda for, and I don't know if Harvey, if you want to say anything more about it, but that was it.
For example, it goes to, Monique, can you hear me? It goes to Monique's credit that I believe she's the only director that's had a meeting with her building in a long time. I'm guilty of it for building one. I think the rest of us are. We should have more building meetings. In any case, the organizational thing is everything goes through the board. Okay, that means it doesn't go through me necessarily. It goes through the board. One second. Everything goes to the board, and that's how we make decisions. And I have on my own broken protocol and allowed the association to voice their opinion, and I will continue doing that because I think that's the way we should do things.